Don't y'all find it a little bit odd that men's trauma and addiction issues lead to them hitting women but never lead to them beating up on men that are their same size?
Hi people, thank you so much for stopping by. If you are coming across my channel for the very first time, thank you so much. Please consider subscribing. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support and I hope we are all doing fine. In our today's conversation is about this video guys I want you to watch.
Don't y'all find it a little bit odd that men's trauma and addiction issues lead to them hitting women but never lead to them beating up on men that are their same size? Because I do. I really do. And a lot of y'all are asking, well, why didn't she leave? Why don't women just leave after men are hitting them? Bitch, because we're scared. You know how many times it took me to leave my abusive ex? And how many times it takes women to leave the men that are physically abusing them? Multiple times. Because if you're giving this man everything that he asked for and he's still putting his hands on you, imagine what you think is going to happen after you leave. On top of the trauma bond. And your question shouldn't be, well, why don't you just leave? It should just be like, damn, what support can I offer? It shouldn't be, oh, I don't want to be friends with her no more because she ain't strong enough to leave her. Man, I wouldn't do with that. You don't know what you would deal with until you were in that position. And your friends that are being physically abused and having their heads knocked between the damn washer and dryer do not need your judgment. They need your love and your support. That's what they need.
She is absolutely right. If there is something so difficult to come out of is an abusive relationship. Abusers are so manipulative. They make sure they get your support system to their side and you are left with none. When seeking help, it becomes hard to be heard and helped. Abusers don't suddenly announce themselves and you can't suddenly leave. It's a process. Anyway, some few people stitched this video. I'll let the stitches play. At the end, I'll leave my own comment, so please don't go away.
Don't y'all find it a little bit odd that men's trauma and addiction issues lead to them hitting women but never lead to them beating?
I mean, what you was saying was going in the right direction, girl, but I just want to say, they don't hit each other, they kill each other, girl. That's what the white people be talking about when they say black on black violence. You know, that be them. That's where that come from. Yeah.
Why didn't she leave? Why don't women just leave after men are hitting them? Bitch, because we're scared.
I remember I had finally got the courage to leave mine after 5 years. And when he found out that I was dating again, like 3 months or so later, I remember he called and he was on his way and he was going to kill me because I was cheating on him. Even though we were broke up and he had another girlfriend and we weren't together in any kind of way, but he owned me. I was his property. So I remember being on the phone with the cops and begging them to please come, please, he's coming, please. And them telling me that I had to call them back when he arrived, that they could not be there waiting for him. And I was so scared that he was going to bust through a window, whatever, to get in there to me, because there's many times in the past where I thought he was going to kill me. And so that's where I constantly felt like that's the fear constantly came from. I'm going to die. He's going to kill me. You can't judge a person who is in that relationship and ask them, why don't they just leave? Because it's not that simple, because even after you leave, you're still scared for your life. Just be nice to whoever is in those shoes, because you just don't get it. And you probably never will unless you're in it. And I hope that never happens to you.
Don't y'all find it a little bit odd that men's trauma and addiction issues lead to them hitting women but never lead to them?
What's up, TikTok? What I find odd is all these bitter, broken, big back women always want to lump all men together like all of us were whooping her ass. Ma'am, I don't even know who you are. I've never touched you. And I've never had any real desire to beat up on women. That's not part of my pedigree. That might be the pedigree of the men that you choose. And all that bullshit about, you know how hard it is, how scared it is, unless you're in an isolated type situation where your family isn't around, your friends isn't around, you have no money of your own, it's easy as fuck to leave a motherfucker. Especially in a domestic violence situation, because guess what? It's all kinds of motherfuckers waiting to help you get out of that situation. Western society is real good about taking care of y'all when y'all are getting your ass kicked like clockwork. It's just a lot of y'all are too dumb to leave, or you're so into whatever that man is providing to you that you're like, fuck it. So he knocks me around a little bit. So yeah, when y'all start having these discussions about domestic violence and shit, shut the fuck up that it's all men, because I assure you it is not.
Don't y'all find it a little bit odd that men's trauma and addiction issues lead to them hitting women but never lead to them beating?
I love how you only equate that to men abusing women, men abusing women. Men abuse men, women abuse men. Everybody abuses everybody. And yes, in an abusive relationship, you cannot leave. A, because after a while, you think you deserve it. They honestly make you think that, I love you, but sometimes you just do the wrong thing. Or, babe, you really think anybody's going to believe you if you go to the cops saying, I beat you? Or, you honestly think you can do better than me? Try. You run, I'll kill you. You run, I'll convince everybody you raped me. A scientist took some of his own blood, added in some germs. Oh, that one I'm not pulling out of my ass. Abusers are the most shitty people on the planet that know how to manipulate. They are experts at it. And the reason they're so good at it is simple. To abuse someone, you need to have zero or next to zero sympathy. You can't be sympathetic with someone you're beating on. You can't have true love for someone you're beating on. So they do not have the same feelings for you that you have for them, and they cannot feel true sympathy. Which means they can manipulate you way easier because they don't feel sorry for it.
Poor bird. Imagine you're just trying to fly somewhere and you fly in there on accident, and then they just try to jump you. Well, I mean, to be fair, there was eggs, there was two of them.
And I've been beat by men, women, and actually children. Abusers are abusers. Now, how many of you laughed when I said children? How many of you laughed when I said women? But how many of you got pissed when I said men?
Bags started falling out, and they had to make an emergency landing. That's actually crazy.
Abusers are all shit.
Living an abusive relationship is not an easy thing. Just like I earlier alluded to, abusers don't suddenly announce themselves. Nobody wanders into that situation. They treat you amazing for like the first few months, and thereafter that slowly becomes this monster who is going to physically assault you, cheat on you, and possibly unalive you. It's not an overnight transformation. When you get in the relationship, they love you, and then over time, the mask comes off. It's a gradual process, and when it's that time, you are being convinced that it's your fault. You are doing something to make them treat you that way. It's a very emotional experience that you can't wish it on anyone, including your enemy. They make you worthless, like you can't do anything better. That's why a lot stay. Until they had so much, and sometimes it's too late. Brave to women who manage to come out of abusive relationships. Anyway guys, I would really love to hear as well from you. Kindly share in the comment section below. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. See you in the next video and stay safe.